Donald Trump has arrived in court and he is set to become the first former U.S. president to face a criminal trial. This comes as the Republican nominee is fighting his battle to retake the White House. Kailey Leinz is tracking this story. Trump has arrived, we understand, at the court. What did he have to say?
Well, Manis, he repeated lines that we have often heard from the former president in regard to the many legal cases he is facing. This, of course, just being one of four criminal indictments he has faced. On his way into the courthouse, he spoke with reporters saying this is an outrage. This is political persecution. It's a case that never should have been brought. Of course, this case was brought by Manhattan District Attorney Alvin Bragg, who has charged him with 34 felony counts of falsifying business records related to alleged hush money payments paid to porn star Stormy Daniels in the days ahead of the 2016 election. Trump has pleaded not guilty to all of these charges, and he is right now in the courtroom sitting at the defense table as these proceedings get underway. They are historic, the first time a former U.S. president has ever stood criminal trial, and what they kick off with is jury selection. This could be a lengthy process that could last 1 to even 2 weeks as they try to weed out jurors who can be impartial and fair in assessing the fate of former President Donald Trump, who, of course, is the presumptive Republican nominee. And to that point, Manis, this could have serious political consequence for him. He is required to be here in person at the court every day of this trial, which will be every weekday except for Wednesday. That will keep him off the campaign trail. He is spending a great deal of resources on his legal defense, and potentially, depending on what the verdict is, this could impact outcomes of the vote in November. A Bloomberg Morning Consult poll of swing state voters back in January surveyed across the 7 swing states likely to decide the outcome of the 2024 election. More than half of them say that if Trump were to be convicted of a crime, they would not vote for him come Election Day.
And Kailey, in terms of how this plays at the polls, it depends which polls you read, but every time the former president appears at court challenging the legal system, how does that play in his campaigning? This is a president who is campaigning and in active campaign mode for the presidency.
Yes, and traditionally, Manis, he has used court appearances like the one today to galvanize his base of supporters, to fundraise, to speak to the press, and do so in a way that is free, not having to actually hold a campaign rally, but using court appearances as a way to get coverage, to plead his case, as he says, basically that this is a weaponization of the justice system in America against him. So he likely will continue to do so. The question is whether this is a time in which that strategy is going to start turning into something that works more against him than for him again, because if he is convicted of a felony here, not only could he potentially face prison time, but it could change the minds of those crucial voters who may alter their opinion of Trump closer to Election Day, depending on the outcome of this trial. And I would note, Manis, this is at this point the only trial that looks like it will wrap up before that Election Day in November. He's facing 3 other criminal indictments, and yet those have been mired in delays. We are awaiting a Supreme Court decision on his immunity challenge to the 2020 election subversion case in Washington that Jack Smith has brought. That will be the next big legal date to watch in that case, which comes up on April 25th. And of course, we'll be in the middle of this trial here in New York still at that time, Manis.